Racist Texans player has nasty surprise for white owner who called him a criminal. His career is over. The National Football League has become a national disgrace. Nobody is feeling the heat more than the owners who have sunk millions of dollars into their franchises, only for players to flick their investment off with their protests that are taking them nowhere but down. This is a complete disrespect to those who pay for them to do a job that's been derailed by their divisive statement. One owner didn't hold back when he said it like it is, calling these criminal players out for exactly what they are trying to hide behind their fame and notoriety. Players may refuse to recognize the fallout from their protest or feel like the empty seats are some kind of accomplishment as a result of their message, but the owners and investors are seeing it for what it really is, a massive loss of revenue. There's no denying that fact protest, perceived injustices, and racial divisiveness is destructive to business, but that doesn't stop players from that downward financial trend. It's been a long time coming, but Houston Texans owner has had enough and put his foot down in a way that no other owner dared to do. His racist black player responded in a sickening way, and now his career is over. If you want a glimpse into why NFL owners have not embraced their players' rights to protest during the national anthem, or, frankly, at any time, this quote from Texans owner Bob McNair, reportedly delivered at a meeting of owners earlier this month, says it all, the biased writers at The Comeback reported. Via ESPN, as Jones spoke, Snyder mumbled out loud, "See, Jones gets it. 96% of Americans are for guys standing," a claim some dismissed as a grand overstatement. McNair, a multimillion-dollar Trump campaign contributor, spoke next, echoing many of the same business concerns. "We can't have the inmates running the prison," McNair said. That statement stunned some in the room. Then Kraft, who is close friends with Trump, politely rebuked the hardliners, saying that he supported the league's marketing proposal and predicted the issue would work itself out over time. This argument seemed to find a receptive audience in the room. Making excuses for the perpetual protest, the source adds, NFL players' protests, as most people hopefully understand by now, are about racism in the criminal justice system, from police brutalities to disparities in arrests, bail and sentencing. In essence, players are accusing America of viewing people who look like them as criminals, rhetoric which star player for the Texans, DeAndre Hopkins, seems to more than buy into. For McNair to then compare them to inmates in a prison, even as a rhetorical device, is wildly inappropriate and revealing, The Comeback added. Given that frame of reference, his indifference to racial injustice is no surprise. McNair, like many white people who have benefited all their life from black labor, views his disproportionately black employees as an underclass. There's no underclass mentality present in the opposition to this anti-protesting position. It's about employees rallying against the franchise that pays them, no matter who is offended by their divisive message. The players have protested all wrong this whole time, saying that they're somehow discriminated against when they could be protesting the real issues of black-on-black crime or criminality within the league caused by their own actions. DeAndre Hopkins, showing zero respect for the owner who pays him and was a part of him having a place on the team, one of the lead players, DeAndre Hopkins, decided to be defiant in the 11th hour of the league when they're on their last leg. After all that's been done for him, his racist antics weren't well received, and for good reason. That didn't stop him from writing out his entitlement and using it to further his point, but could have and should have cost him his career for being a liability to the franchise. Total Sports reports, just when the Houston Texans looked to be having themselves a dream season, disaster strikes. Today it was reported that while discussing the national anthem protests in a meeting with the owners, Texans owner Bob McNair said, "We can't let the inmates run the prison." McNair has since apologized for his comments, but that didn't stop Texans star wideout DeAndre Hopkins from skipping out of practice today. Hopkins' move in this aftermath of supposedly hurt feelings makes one wonder how this player deals with a beating on the field. He's really not capable of heroism anywhere in reality when he can't even show up to practice after much has been granted him. He proved that the protest is more important than his career without realizing he's replaceable with a lineup of players happy to take his job that he's incapable of performing because he's offended. McNair is now being threatened with more fallout for his statement, despite the same not being expected in return. Only time will tell, and not too much, who wins this war of words, and hopefully, it's the man writing the checks and not just collecting them for his cause.